probably the one bathroom that's like, yeah. Oh, but I took a shower, my first in our new bathroom last night.
Congratulations. First shower in months.
First time. It's so big that I'm in there and the dog just walks right in.
Oh, like, it doesn't get wet.
He didn't get wet. He walked right in. He was just kind of sitting there. I'm like, what do you want? Get out of here.
It's gotta be easy to bathe him in.
Huh?
Make sure you don't want to, but
he didn't seem to mind, but he don't like the water. We'll work on that a little bit. Hey, welcome to the closing beat, everybody. Happy Monday. How you doing out there? Good. There's actually this pilot YouTube guy that I watch where he's in the plane, he's flying along, and then he'll just kind of like look over and be like, how's everybody doing? Good. Got your seatbelt on, right? It's the corniest thing, but hey, how's it going? Welcome, Kyle, Mark, Doc Horton, Lindrick, Alan, David, Harry, welcome. Hey, we're financial advisors here at Jazz Wealth, and we talk about the stock market every day, just kind of go over things that have gone on, and like to share data with you. Got a bunch of good stuff here for you today as well. And last week, our Wine and Wealth class was 2 secrets for the HSA. If you have an HSA account, if you're one of our clients, go in there and see the 2 secrets or hacks, tricks, tips, whatever, that most people don't know, actually. And we went into more detail there because turns out there was a lot of good questions, actually. So we covered that. The week before that, we did end-of-year tax planning. We did some really cool stuff there, things that you might think about. And this week is, well, I don't know yet. We've got a couple ideas. We'll see which one lands. And this Thursday will be our next Wine and Wealth class. Also, our Notes from Jazz. Every week we do an email out to clients. It's handwritten. It's not an automated email. And very first paragraph, announce something that officially no other advisor has. No other advisor does it. And we're getting ready to be able to do that. So I'm really excited about that. It's actually 4 years in the making. And that's just one of the 2 things that I've been like just trying to get to be something that we could offer that usually only the really, really rich people get. And we're going to be offering it. All included. No strings attached. Of course, we don't charge more for anything that we ever add here. And so I'm really excited about that. The markets. As we go from about midweek this week, that'll be about the 15th? Yeah. So about midweek this week through the end of the year, the markets tend to get a little bit quiet. Really quiet, actually. The week between Christmas and New Year's is actually the quietest week for the year. And so I would predict that once we get the Fed meeting out of the way on Wednesday, and also Rivian's earnings, if you're interested, but once we get the Fed meeting out of the way on Wednesday, I think the markets will have their normal volatility and then start to kind of settle in to just that holiday vibe, right? So maybe a little bit more back and forth here. We could take some questions and stuff, share some kind of cool studies and stuff, because the market may not be all that exciting. So I'll still be here. We'll have a good time with you, and we'll see what's going on. We'll start with the NASDAQ today. It was your worst performer. It's the best year to date, but today it was the worst, actually. It was a choppy day, lower volume day. A little volume came in at the end of the day there, but otherwise, this is that Christmas tree type market that I talk about, where we got red, green, red, green, red, green. So expect to see a little bit more of that, especially after Wednesday as we go. If you look through the stock markets today, you got Tesla, Elon Musk, Time Magazine's Man of the Year. Congrats. But nobody told the stock, actually, because it's under the 50-day again there. So one of the weaker ones inside the NASDAQ here today. NVIDIA. You got NVIDIA working its way back to the 50-day there. I looked at selling some puts, but when I looked at the research site and went through the stats there, we're not quite ready yet. So I'll keep you posted on that. If this continues to pull back, then it becomes more favorable for maybe taking a little counter trend position there, but I'll show you the stats on that before we do anything. So that's NVIDIA. DocuSign still staying weak. Remember, big down moves like this that they just smack you all in one day. Very difficult to participate in on a bounce. So DocuSign's repricing continues there. And then if you look in the NASDAQ, semiconductors. Well, we talked about NVIDIA already pulling back, but if you look at the semiconductors, that was the weaker spot. They are now sort of in profit-taking mode. AMAT, Xilinx, AMD, you can see all pulling back. Actually, AMD back to the 50-day, so maybe we'll look at that tomorrow. Xilinx as well, I think I just mentioned. Lam Research down 3%. All of these otherwise having pretty nice runs lately, just pulling back a little bit. And lastly, in the NASDAQ, Peloton, pretty much doing anything to stay in the news. Something about Sex and the City. I missed the whole thing. Honestly, I saw it. I wasn't a fan of the show. I'm not really a fan of Peloton, so I didn't look at it. But apparently it was a pretty big deal, and Peloton will try to do anything they can do here, of course, to Stay in the news, stay competitive. You got the S&P 500, second place here year to date. Held up actually the best today. A couple stocks in the news for the S&P. You got Pfizer almost hitting new highs there. Some positive news on their COVID vaccine. I think they said, what was it, Pfizer? 2 shots won't do the trick, but 3 shots will when it comes to the Omicron. I believe that was them. Market access, there you go. Finally, maybe putting in a bottom after a pretty consistent downturn there. One of my favorite stocks in this category. So I've been watching this discount here to see what we've get. That got a little bit of a bounce, continued bounce. Kroger maybe moving outside of its Christmas tree range here. Closed at highs today. That's a good thing. Decent volume for Kroger outside of earnings. And so maybe that's going to get itself going. And Hormel. What a great little earnings rally there, thanks to Genie O Turkey. We covered that the other day. And Spam, congratulations to Spam, hitting record sales 7 years in a row, right? 7 freaking years. You eat Spam?
I don't eat
Have you
Spam.
ever had
No,
Spam?
I don't think I've ever had Spam.
I don't think I've ever had it myself. I know there's like weird concoctions and stuff you can make with Spam on it, crackers and whatnot. I've never. We should get some Spam.
I'll judge a book by its cover on that one. I'm good.
You're going to judge a book by its cover?
Yep.
You don't want to try it?
Nope.
What is it anyways? Do we know?
Gross.
It's gross. Yep. All right. Probably fair. Okay. Well, congratulations to them for selling that much Spam. And Genie O Turkey was one of their, in their earnings report, double-digit sales growth there. If we look over at the Dow, there you go. The Dow's in third place here year to date, but don't feel bad for it. 17% year to date, so it's doing pretty good. Consumer staples. I'm going to point this out a couple times today. Consumer staples sort of shined on an otherwise slight down day, right? Coca-Cola, big mover here today. Walmart, big mover. Johnson & Johnson, big mover. Procter & Gamble, big mover, and new highs, actually. So kind of interesting to see that area of the market, which is in last place as far as the S&P sectors are concerned, actually waking up there a little bit. We'll come back to that here in just a moment. Guess the Dow? Guess the Dow. What do you got?
Yeah, we got your leaderboard or an update. You got Vin, Bohan, Robert, Jeremy, and Michael. 4 out of 5 today are clients, so that's pretty cool. Also, did we got to the bottom of? We get to the bottom of how you pronounce Bohan? I said Bojan, but I just went your way with Bohan.
Oh, he told us.
We were both wrong.
We were
it's
both
not Bojan
wrong.
or Bohan.
It's not Bohan or. Oh, I'm sorry, man. What was it? It should be Bohan. That's kind of what it looks like.
Yeah, I can concede that. I was wrong the first time in calling him Bojan.
I'm sorry. Yep, we were wrong on that one. Congratulations, though, making it on a leaderboard there.
4 out of 5 clients. So that's pretty cool.
This is the super duper guess the Dow. $500 first place, $250 second place, and $100 for third place. We will announce the winner January 3rd, actually, because that will be our first day back. The market's closed January 1st. The second is a Sunday, I believe, because New Year's is on a Friday night, which means Christmas is on a Friday night. So,
No, you're off right there.
No, come on.
Christmas is on Saturday. New Year's is also on Saturday.
New Year's Eve, though.
You were right on the 3rd. We will be on the 3rd.
No, I know. New Year's Eve, Christmas Eve. So the markets close early on the 31st for New Year's Eve. They always do. They'll close early on the 24th. That's a couple short weeks right there, huh? For those of you that don't care for your jobs. Anyways, here we go. Let's take a look at something interesting. So in our notes from Jazz this weekend, I'll share it with you here. We covered something interesting. This is what it looks like. We talked about the major indices. Let's do it like this. Yeah, major indices compared to their average stock in the major index. You got the S&P down here, NASDAQ Composite, NASDAQ 100 on the far right, not sure why, small cap and mid cap, right? So in the dark red, I'm sorry, in the black, actually, we're showing the, as of Friday, the distance from 52-week highs. So for example, the S&P 500 was 0.5% from its 52-week high. Just add another percent today for the down move. The NASDAQ Composite down 3.6%, NASDAQ 100 down 2.5%. Small caps down 6% from highs, pretty evident. We show the Russell here to kind of explain that. And mid caps down 4%. So just a slight pullback off of 52-week highs. But if you look under the hood, so to speak, at the average performance of the stocks in each index, so for example, the S&P, the average stock is in fact 11%, now over 12% from its 52-week high. But the index itself is only, we'll just pretend it's not today, Friday. The index down 0.5%. Average stock is down 11%. How does that happen there, right? In the NASDAQ composite, it's just down 3.6% as far as the index is concerned, but the average stock is down 40% in the index, right? So you can do this and look through the rest of them there. The NASDAQ 100 more popular, down 2.5, and we're down 16% the average stock. What's going on there, right? In other words, what is keeping the index from falling, right? But yet the average stock is already pulling back. It's doing its thing there. What's the deal? Well, it tells you a couple things. Number one, the cap-weighted indices, if you're an index fund investor, you're happy, but it doesn't matter because everybody else out there, right, is stock picking. So it's a stock picker's market. All of a sudden, people are like, I don't care about the index funds and all that, whereas before they were all excited, just buy and hold, right? We're all trading. So if you're an index fund investor, you're fine with this, right? You're not dealing with the average stock pulling back. You're dealing with a market cap weighted index. So that's a good thing there. It also tells you that the momentum in each index is with the larger weighted stocks. The weakness is in the average Joe Schmo stock as compared to the weight of the index. So, for example, Apple would be a great example. Apple, although it pulled back, it did pull back today. So Apple is a great example. It's up 20% in the last 25 days, right? So now it's up about 19% because it was up just a little bit more. It is the most overbought stock of all the super duper cap stocks. Your Tesla, Alphabet, Amazon, Facebook, or Meta, and NVIDIA, right? So it's up the most. Obviously, it's had a great run there. Because of that, it has the most impact. It's a weighted, obviously a weighted index. It has the most impact on the index and has been holding the index up. What happens if Apple starts to pull back and some of these other stocks as well? You can see how they would start to pull the index down because all the other stocks are already down. So kind of interesting there. Another thing, based on this recent run, Berkshire Hathaway's portfolio is now almost 50% in Apple, because of how much it's run up there. So Mr. Warren Buffett there, 50% holder at Apple. What happens if he's just trimming off a little bit there? 50% of that position. Granted, they've got $130 billion in cash or so, but you get what I'm saying there. Now, this sort of index move that we're talking about is just a way to look under the hood. That's all I was trying to explain. I explained it in the notes from Jazz email there as well. One thing you can do is use the research site, by the way. 20% in 25 days. How often has Apple done that? I'll give you a little hint. It's only happened 2 times in the last decade where it's gone up to 4 times. Sorry, 4 times. Messed that up. 4 times in the last 10 years that it's been up 20% in 25 days. And it's a 50-50 shot, actually, of what happens going forward. Half the time it's down 2%, or half the time it's up 10% or more. Is that a favorable odd there? Are those odds in your favor, I should say? If I said you have a 50-50 shot of buying Apple and being down 2% or being up 10%, would you take that? Right? That's exactly what the stats are in that one. That's kind of interesting there. And lastly, as far as the index goes, the discounts, meaning the stocks that pulled back the most, are going to be those lower end, lower weighted stocks in the indices there. So if you're looking for new ideas, that's a quick chart to just show you, hey, this is what the index shows. This is what the average stock shows. Now I know where to go find opportunity or discounts. So there you go. Also, okay, while stream's catching up, let's play a game. What is the most the biggest gaining commodity of the year? I'll let you guess while the stream's catching up. It's almost the end of the year. I'm going to tell you the answer, so I'm not going to make you just guess and then not share anything with you. What is the most overbought commodity? Your choices are gold, platinum, wheat, copper, corn, oil, natural gas, coffee, orange juice, or silver. And while you're guessing, take a guess. Tell me what you think. Come on. Here is the average distance of stocks by sector. So we just showed the index itself. Go into the S&P. You want to see, okay, if the average stock is down 11% in the S&P compared to the 0.5%, well, what sectors might be down the most, right? Well, consumer services, communication services are down the most, 26%, consumer discretionary next, then healthcare and technology. The S&P, of course, down 0.5% there. Utilities and financials would be holding up the most. They would be your biggest in terms of momentum there. So another chart to share with you. I got a little off track there. I got excited. So let's see what you think. What is the strongest commodity so far of 2021? I see some natural gas, oil. You'd think oil, right? I'm going to just give it away and say it's not oil. Lumber, you would have thought, had this been earlier in the year, that would have been a good answer. Yep. Lumber has basically all retreated. You got coffee in there. Coffee again, oil, corn, pork bellies, lumber, corn. Let's see. In fact, it is coffee up 81% so far year to date in 2021. Coffee. Holy cow, that's up a lot. So natural gas up 52%. Oil we know is up quite a bit this year, 47%. Gold lost, platinum lost, silver lost, at least as of the moment. Orange juice, this actually keeps coming up in the inflation numbers. Orange juice not seeing inflation this year. I don't know why. I didn't look into that, but I keep seeing orange juice as being one of the things that, well, if you drink orange juice, you're not complaining too much there. But coffee, 81%. Does anybody notice the price of coffee actually go up? Does that? I don't pay that much attention. I just make my little cup in the morning. I'm not much of a coffee guy outside of the morning, but yeah, interesting there. And so what it also tells you is there's almost no chance natural gas catches up, right? I would just say there's no chance. Natural gas has never had a move of that amount in 2.5 weeks, right? I won't say never actually, but you would doubt that that's going to happen. If it would have happened already given the season and everything, but that's what you have. Thought that was pretty cool. All right, new highs and lows for the day. You got 49 new highs, 4 new lows. Well, let's look. Coca-Cola, new high. Well, that's a consumer staple stock, isn't it? Hershey's, new high. Also a good stock for inflation if you think it's going to stay high. General Mills, that's a consumer staple stock. All of a sudden out of nowhere. Church & Dwight, wait a minute, that's a consumer staple stock. So the new highs list kind of confirming what we saw earlier. If you're looking around the market trying to make sense of everything, know that today was one of those instances where consumer staple stocks had a really good day. And if you're not comfortable looking or don't know consumer staple stocks, haven't done enough research, use the XLP. The XLP is a consumer defensive or consumer staples ETF. It's the most popular one out there, so something to take a look at. Southwest Airlines. Oh, there you go. Southwest, is it coming up? Yeah, so you got Southwest Airlines up in the mix there. They hit new 52-week lows, and it was your only 52-week low today. And so I actually sold the $40 puts on this one. It's down 15% in 5 days. Can we do it? Let me see if I can pull it up real quick for you. Research, just real quick since we're digging around here. We'll do a rolling search. This is what I did. This is how I came to that decision. Losing less than 15% in 5 days. Over, we'll just do 20 years. Let's see what happens there. We're not, oh, actually, is he working on this? Okay, so we're good to go. Oh, there we go. Southwest Airlines has lost 15% over the span of 5 days, a total of 11 times in the last 20 years. What happens afterwards? When the stock loses 15% in 5 days, well, here's all the data of every time it lost 15%. Here's what happened before it. Here's what happened after it. And a little hint for you guys, there's a new tab coming here. It's going to be right here. More research and cool stuff we're working on. Anyways, average gain after that is actually 5.6%. Median gain 6%. 72% of the time it's positive. So let's play that game for a second. If I sold the $40 puts, which is just slightly out of the money, I have a slight advantage already by using that option. And I have a pretty good advantage. 72% of the time it's going to be positive from this point going forward. So I don't know if it's going to be a successful trade, but I know that I have the stats on my side, right? So if it's not, then I chalk it up to, hey, that's part of the 28% of the time that it doesn't work, right? You have to take those odds. If they're giving you odds of 72% of the time, a small gain, I don't care if 72% of the time it was sideways. That would be fine with me as well. Or 72% of the time it averages a small gain, small loss. That'd still be cool too, right? Anyway, so just giving you a little more insight into that one there. Let's go to stocks in the news because I feel like I've been rambling on a Monday here. I tend to do that. If we go to stocks in the news, Bristol Myers is going to be first. Raised their dividend. What did they go to? I didn't see actually. Raised it by 10%. It's going to be about another 20 cents. So you're looking at about $2.20 there. They're also going to do $15 billion in stock buybacks. I just keep pointing this out. Companies are not dumb. They're going to do this before the Build Back Better passes or potentially passes, whatever happens. And for fun, $15 billion. That's about 10% of the entire company. So they're not messing around there. Do you like your Harley Davidsons, do you? I can't type today, but HOG is a ticker symbol. Wild day for Harley Davidson, ultimately finishing up positive on the day. Livewire, they are going to spin off there, and it's going to be going public with the popular SPAC way that everybody's been doing that. So they announced that. I believe that was slightly old news, but still, there you go. Tesla, we already said that. 2021's Time Man of the Year, Time Magazine. Elon Musk, anyways. Hawaiian Airlines there, they actually said, just like Southwest, we actually see good things going forward. Revenue should be higher than Wall Street's expecting there, so positive news for them. And the exact same thing happened to Southwest on that day. Remember, Southwest went down when they said those things. Same is happening here. You've got EPAM also in the news there. They're going to be added, replacing Kansas City Southern in the S&P 500. EPAM is, they make custom software. I'm familiar with them in the fintech space. They actually have expanded quite a bit there. But they make custom software usually for much larger companies there. And so the stock saw a lot of volume today, not a lot of action, which is actually very common. And lastly, Rivian. Their first earnings coming out tomorrow. I don't have any insight into it, just letting you know that their first earnings is coming out tomorrow. And while the stream catches up, Cody, what does Taylor Swift and Saddam Hussein have in common?
Oh,
What?
I haven't thought deeply about that. I don't.
You know Saddam Hussein, right?
I'm familiar with his work.
Never shook hands, but you know who he is, yeah.
Right.
What Saddam Hussein and Taylor Swift have in common?
I don't know. I'm worried about what you're going to say, but I don't know.
No, actually, Saddam Hussein, today, they have today in common. Saddam Hussein was actually captured today, 2005, 2003, and today is Taylor Swift's birthday.
What a coincidence.
What a coincidence. Yeah, I just, I thought. And I think it's also Fox. What's his name? The actor. He sings really well. Played, Jamie Foxx. I think it's his birthday. He played, he just played somebody in a movie. I can't think of it. Anyways, I think it's Jamie Foxx's birthday as well. And it's Tom DeLonge's birthday. This is just coming to my head.
Wow, this is.
I don't forget birthdays, man.
You go to birthday.com to start your day.
I don't know where. Things are stuck in my head, and I just remember it. So that ought to get people fired up in the chat about the old war, huh? We'll see how old people really are. No, it's not a birthday, and technically, I guess it's just today, December 13th. Yep. I hear you. Yep. Oh man. All right. Well, look, I'll try to answer questions if you have any questions, but I didn't mean to get you going there. When you sort of squeeze me up for the weekend, and I don't get to say words. Monday hits, and I'm like, hey, guess what? I'm just all over the place. Erratic would be a good word there. Yeah. What does the S&P do the year after an S&P gain? Or I'm sorry, a 20% gain? That's pretty interesting. We could check that out if we had the appropriate tools for that, right? Let's say it's going to be in a calendar year, though, right? So this one you would actually use the calendar search. Say greater than a 20% gain in a year, and let's go as far back as we can. I believe 35 years. So, and just heads up, I know Charlie's working on this new thing right here. So if it doesn't work, then I've interrupted him. Yep, I can see him pushing stuff up. So I have to wait on that one. We can do it. Yeah, just we would use the calendar search, and we're making this live shortly. So that's what's going up right now. It's not going to work. But that's a good question. I will save it and use it for tomorrow, though. And maybe tomorrow we can use the new tool as well. By the way, the new tool is, well, if I look at something that has fallen 15% in 5 days, but you're going to do a 3-month trade, or you're interested in it for the longer term, we wanted the ability for you to customize the performance over a certain time period. We'll show you 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, and all that stuff. But we wanted the ability to sort of highlight different time periods. So it's going to be a forward search based on historical data. So that's what's coming out. Yeah. Working on the 2022 prediction. I'll tell you, Goldman Sachs, their 20, where did I put that there? Goldman Sachs came out with their 2022 prediction. Where was it? I guess I didn't save it because it was kind of an interesting pick. Oh, I didn't. I put Goldman Sachs. I didn't save it. Yeah, sorry. I forget what it was. I'll find out. Thoughts on PayPal and Square for the long term? Well, I think on the long term you'll be better off with the likes of Square. PayPal just in the short term, obviously, a great discount. So you got to look for something to do there. But I think Square would probably beat PayPal, at least at the moment with what they're trying to do, which they're going to be called Block now. It's no longer going to be Square. It's going to be Block, but probably the same logo. Yeah. Paul Haas. Is that the golfer? Do we have a golfer in here? Or it's Jay Haas? What do we got here? Speaking of buybacks, what about Citi announcing they aren't doing theirs till 2022? Was a different set of rules for the large financials. They can't just voluntarily start buying back shares. They still have the Fed. It's got to give them a little bit of a clearance still. So they're not allowed. They've already done theirs for this year. They got to get the go-ahead just from the stress test. I believe that still applies in 2022, if I'm not mistaken. Most strategists predicting a single-digit S&P growth in 2022. They have been doing that for years. I believe about 4 years ago, Vanguard said expect nothing for returns over the next decade. And a lot of others came out and said the same thing. You could believe it for the first time ever after what we've done here. I get it. But I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised by a slight loss as well. Man, you went to Caribou and did find your drink there. What a bummer! What a bummer! I'd like the address and the name of the person that put that drink together for you, because that you were robbed if you had the caramel high rise. Yeah, that is not the fault of Caribou Coffee. Thoughts on Alibaba? I get a lot of questions on Alibaba actually. So I don't know. I like what happened last week. This was Friday over here. I liked what happened on that reversal. It has shown no signs of trying to retreat from that. So this little higher low pullback, so far a good sign. I don't know that that's the bottom. I'm not interested in trying to pick the bottom on Alibaba. I'd like to see it happen first. That's where I'm at on that one, because there would have been numerous places. We have a very extremely fraction of a percent size position that I would love to bring back to 2 or 3%. And I would have been wrong numerous times. So I'm going to actually let it happen first. Yeah. I know, straight jacket, right? The volume goes down and up. We don't know. We have no idea. There's no change at all. Nothing different. You can come help me fix it if you want. Yeah. If you have a long-term portfolio, who really cares what the markets do? That's a good point. I would venture to guess that the majority of people that have longer-term portfolios do some kind of rebalancing, at least at some point. And that's where you kind of care, like day to day, what opportunities are there? Am I going to sell off something that has gained 300%, maybe sell a piece of it and go buy something that I like that's discounted and add it to the portfolio? I don't know many people that never make an adjustment to their portfolios. Even Mr. Warren Buffett there is constantly looking to add or adjust things there, and does basically on a monthly basis. Not saying you have to do that or have that kind of money, but you get what I'm saying. All right, we'll wrap it up there. I will wish you guys a great rest of your day. Sorry for all the erraticness lately, but it's going to happen from time to time. Enjoy your day, and thanks for watching.